My name is Michael DeFord, and I'm the lead investigator for the Seekers Paranormal Society. About 7 years ago, I had my first paranormal experience. Now armed with the latest in paranormal equipment, I'm setting out to find the truth. Joining me on my quest to capture evidence is my equipment tech Ramon Vivas and investigator Steve Welton. Take a front seat into our paranormal world as we are driven into the unknown. We are the Seekers Paranormal Society. Hi Seekers fans, Michael DeForty, Ramon Vivas here, also with Bonnie, and she is one of the people that helps out here at the Heritage Museum on the evening investigations. And we are going to be revealing to her the evidence that we had captured on September 25th of this year. So Bonnie, initially what we did is we put some DVR cameras out and things like that, and we actually had 2 cameras that were out. Now these are not DVR cameras that are stationary, these are our handheld night vision cameras. We went up to Jessie May's room, and my tech specialist Ramon Vivas brought a toy snail that only goes off when there's some kind of movement. We've noticed that many times this snail seems to operate much like a geophone, which actually has buttons, and when you bang on the floor, the buttons illuminate to kind of let you know if there's some kind of noise or whatnot. We figured Jessie May would really enjoy this toy, so we put it down. This first little bit here is going to be me showing you how this toy actually operates, and you'll see that by me kicking it, it will actually go off. So you see me kick it, it goes off. Okay. Now this toy will reset itself. You can go touch it if you don't tell them now. Now this part here, we're obviously in Jessie May's room. That's her crib there. I've got Steve, myself, and Ramon is videotaping. And I'm telling Jessie May, I'm going to let Ramon go over and touch his baby doll. And this is what happens to that toy.
Thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Now obviously nobody's touched that toy. Nobody's walking
Can you do that again
upstairs.
for us?
Go ahead, play with it.
So then we said, we're going to let Ramon touch it again, the baby doll.
Touch it.
And I didn't stick my hand in the crib
It's
or
really
anything.
going now.
Leave the doll alone.
So that was very interesting. That was almost confirmation to us that somebody's there. Okay?
Okay.
Now this is our spirit box session. For those people who don't know what a spirit box session is, it's just a radio frequency that scans over many different radio stations and provides just endless white noise for these entities to speak through. We thought Jessie May might be able to, because she's a little spirit, and we figured she may not have a whole lot of energy to come through the anywhere else as far as an EVP. So we tried to give her a voice. And this is what we came up with.
Are you here with us?
The captions are on the bottom of the screen.
Can you please touch that toy again?
Now, we're not quite sure what the relevance of Jesse James is other than the outlaw. We figured that we would ask you if possibly you know of anything.
Well,
Jesse
I'm
James
sure
was
we
here.
had outlaws living here at one time or another.
But
That's
wasn't
for
there
sure.
James too, or like a Jesse and a James? Maybe James was in the room with Jesse.
You know, it's actually very possible, and
That's
that's
the name that Bonnie's given him, is James.
okay. That's why we wanted to definitely show you this piece, because we thought it was saying Jesse James referring to my dad's favorite outlaw, but it might actually be Jesse, comma, James. It might be like it's actually stating those two people are there.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was probably one of the coolest pieces that we as Seekers Paranormal Society have ever caught so far.
Did you hear that? Jesse James?
Is that what it said?
That's what it sounded like to me.
You'll hear it.
What's your name?
Oh my God, I just got goosebumps. Did you hear it? Did you hear it?
No.
Wow.
Now, I replayed it 3 times for you because it was just incredible.
What's your name?
Oh my.
How old are you?
That just makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And what even validates it even more for us is that it was a little girl's voice,
Yes, it
which
was.
very strange because sometimes on these ghost box sessions, we'll get voices that don't match up with the entity we think we're talking to. And this one, it was spot on.
Yes, it was.
The next answer comes from Jessie again. Now, how old was she when she passed?
3.
She was 3 years old. Okay. You might have to listen really hard because I tried to clean it up as best I could, but you'll see the caption on the bottom of the screen.
How old are you?
Oh my God.
Amazing.
And
Oh my
I'll try to
God.
play that over for you.
How old are you?
So she says she's 3.
How old are you?
So we've not only caught her name and her saying Jessie, but we're also catching her playing with the snail. We're also catching her giving and verifying her age, which that to me just
This is
absolutely
why we're
astounded me.
certified haunted, okay?
Now what I'm going to show you next is a pretty much the holy grail of what us ghost hunters look for. But it's actually half of the holy grail. It is a partial bodied apparition, okay?
That's schoolroom.
This is the schoolroom. Now if you look up here in these windows right here, a white cloud or a mist is actually going to form. Now I had to slow this down for everybody to be able to see. But you see it go from that window and it comes all the way over to the next window and it looks like a cloud of smoke almost.
That's been captured before in exactly the same place.
Okay, that's...
And this was like 8 years ago that it was captured.
Huh. See, that's interesting. And we might have thought maybe it's headlights or whatnot, but the headlights are so much different looking because we captured some of them where you can absolutely tell that it's headlights. I mean, you can just tell.
Okay.
So you might have to look kind of hard. I try to brighten this up as best I could. Just look right after this. And it starts from that window and it kind of floats over to the second window and it kind of like morphs into some kind of
There it
cloud.
is. Is that it?
Yeah, or some kind of weird, it almost looks like some kind of floating plasma or
There's
something.
Nancy up here.
Did you see it?
It's a little hard to see. Like I said, I tried to brighten it up, but it was so far away from our IR cameras that it really didn't pick up on it a whole lot.
And it has a tail.
And it has like a tail. What Ramon thought that it might have been was maybe Mr. Saxon smoking his pipe
Yeah.
I don't
because
think
of
so.
something like that. But
This is particular to this one room, and the exact same thing was captured right there. It had a tail, and back then, one of the doll houses was right there at the end of the little gallery. And my adopted son was standing right next to the dollhouse. This thing materialized, and then it floated with the tail and shot right into his chest, and the poor kid went, ha! And we captured this on film.
wow.
Unfortunately, I don't have it anymore, but
Well,
Oh,
you
you
have
have
this.
this was the very early days of night sessions. We were barely doing ghost tours, no late nights yet. I mean, this was early days, and this was our people. We were just hanging out one night to see what happened, and that's what happened.
We were
So
pretty impressed
I'm
with
amazed
that.
that you
That
got
was-
the exact same thing.
And like I said, you'll have a copy of that, so you'll be able to show everybody. Now, next we went into the attic, your favorite spot.
Yeah.
And we went up there and and we had heard that, obviously there was a gentleman who had hung himself up there, and so that, they feel that there's somebody up there. And this is what we got. This is our ghost box session up there. And like I said, the captions will be on the bottom.
There's an entity up here.
That's not mistakable.
First name, Mike.
So
Someone just sat next to me.
now Ramon thinks that he feels somebody sit next to him on that stringy bed that's back there.
Yeah,
Now when he looks, we kind of analyze this a little bit. Ramon only sat on that bed one time. But if you look close enough, you can actually see another butt print over here.
yeah.
He didn't sit there. Ramon's butt is not that size. I apologize. I'm trying to keep this as a PG-13 show. But he only sat down one time, and it prompted him enough to get up. Ramon's a big boy. He's a tough guy. He was looking around, going, "What just sat next to me?" And
You can feel the dip, like when somebody sits on your bed.
Yes.
And I was just like, at first I really didn't know how to react, and I just got up slow, and then when I turned around, you can see a small, like if one of my little kids sat next to me, it looked like a small butt print, and then like about a foot over was my butt, as that blanket that's there. As soon as you sit down, it leaves a perfect print. So I was just like, hey, look at this, because.
so then we're still up there in the attic, and we're still doing the ghost box
Did you
section.
say Kevin's name?
Trying to get to say Kevin's
See, it's
name.
very small.
Doesn't seem
There's mine, and then if you look over.
Now it doesn't want to say Kevin's name, but it says
It
Steve.
did say Steve.
Okay, play that back.
Brooksville.
Brooksville.
Oh yeah. When you see the caption on the screen, I tried to make it almost precise to where you'll be able to hear when it says Steve.
Say Kevin.
Steve.
Steve.
It did say Steve.
Then it says,
Just as clear as a bell.
I think so. Ramon himself?
now you obviously can hear it in Ramon's voice, him saying, I think so, because we were both kind of like, oh my god, it just said Brooksville, that's pretty amazing.
And
That
I
is
have-
amazing.
My ears are very, like when we go over stuff, that is one of my jobs. Like when I'm listening to things, I pick up some of the smallest stuff just sitting there with my headphones and listening to it. And I'll bring it to him and go, hey, and I'll have 2 or 3 pages of just stuff that I've heard. And for me to really be like, because I was like, wow.
It said so just right out loud.
Just for no reason.
So then
No, that's okay.
we
We're fixing it.
continue.
That's okay, we're fixing everything.
I think so. Ramon himself?
No.
So we asked if it was the man who hung himself.
Who are you?
It said
Someone
no.
here?
Government!
Bonnie, what you got going on here?
Were you in the military?
Thank you guys very much.
Now, it says government, and then when Ramon asks, were you in the military, it says secret, which I thought was rather interesting. So
Were you in the military?
now there's some shuffling that's going on to the left of you.
It sounded like something was sliding over here.
Are you pulling up a chair to sit down?
Have a good night.
Did you hear it say thanks for
It
chatting?
said thanks for chatting.
Yep. There, here we
You
go.
were having some interaction here. Possibly.
Have a good night. Oh my God.
Now the grand finale. We're all
Mark, hurry
downstairs.
up.
This is right after. Said, all right, we gotta pack
Time
it
to
up.
wrap up, yeah.
There's nobody in that room.
But there's a pulse going on.
Yes, I do, but it's not like the old ones. I've been in a lot of old houses lately because we've been driving around looking for.
Now at that point, I had unlocked it. There's a lock on there for it to move, and it won't go off unless you're moving it.
So something was playing with it. I'm gonna assume that's Jesse May. Now, I have 3 minutes and 50 seconds of that thing going off. I shortened it for you just to kind of give you an idea, but that was literally going off for almost 4 minutes. It kept going off, shutting itself off. Going up, and
Somebody
you
was
can
actually
hear us.
playing with it.
Yeah, and you can hear us all downstairs.
Yeah.
We can hear you, we can hear Terry, everybody who was here, the camera crews, all that stuff. So that's the evidence that we have for you, and I have
Thank
to
you
say
so much.
that
Wow!
You missed it. It said, thanks for chatting.
Thanks for chatting. To have you follow through and want to share this with the museum is just a wonderful thing, and thank you.
no problem, it's
No,
my
no problem.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right.
Enjoy it.